The biggest mistake I see with leg press is people overemphasizing foot position and underemphasizing range of motion. What do I mean by this? Here you can see this client set up with a very narrow low foot position. This works out well for her because she's able to get her knees to her chest at the end range and still achieve a full range of motion. Not everyone can do this in this stance, and in comes the mistake. Most people are thinking, I want to hit more glutes and adductors, so I'm going to go higher and wider with my feet. Except they do this and they have very poor range of motion. And in reality, they had better range of motion lower and more shoulder width apart with their feet. Here's a client with a higher and wider foot position. This works well for her because she's getting a full range of motion. When I'm coaching this exercise, I am more concerned with the client using a foot position that allows for the deepest range of motion. At the end of the day, if you're using a setup or a stance to bias a certain muscle group, yet you're weaker and have limited range of motion because of that, you're going to make way less gains from this exercise. I promise if your glutes aren't growing, it's not because you aren't going high enough with your feet on the leg press. I promise if your quads aren't growing, it's not because you're not going low enough with your feet on the leg press. Position where you're the strongest and get the best range of motion for your anatomy. This is going to allow for the best chance of progressive overload, and if you're following a good program, you should be doing 4 to 6 other exercises you're doing every week anyway to bias both the quads and the glutes.